Greetings, fam. So, Black History Month is once again upon us, and I'm sure there are those of you who hopefully celebrate the month and celebrate Black history outside of the month. We should be celebrating being Black every day. And there's a surge of interest in Black-owned businesses, and so I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring. I would like to suggest to you, those of you who are my subscribers and those of you who simply just enjoy the videos, to support a Black author this month. And this month, I'm actually doing something special. Although, as you can see, I have a page on Amazon where you can purchase my books. I've got about 35 books last time I counted. And in this video, I'm going to give you a preview of 20 of them. But I want you to go to my Amazon page and see what I have. And for those of you who are interested in getting a free copy of one of my books, the book of your choosing, then I have something else for you. I have, if you look in the link below, you'll see the link to my Hollywood YouTube channel fundraising. And if you click that and make a donation for as little as $5, I will send you a free copy of one of my books. You can go on Amazon, look and see which one you like, and I will send it to you in PDF form. So it'll be an electronic file that you can read on your device. So that's for those of you who, I know it's just after the holidays. Many of you are on a budget. But if you want to support a Black author, this is how you can do it. And I'm using actual screenshots of my Amazon page so that you guys can see the actual cost of my books. So it's a win-win situation, especially those of you who follow the videos. A lot of the answers to your questions are in the books, because in a book I was able to go into more detail. So I'm going to run you through at least 20 of my titles, and I'll give you a little synopsis of what the book is about so that you can decide if you want to go to Amazon and purchase it, or if you want to donate to my Hollywood YouTube channel and get a free copy. You can do that as, either way. Or you may want to do both, whatever you like, because some people like an actual hard copy of the book. So I'll make sure that, whichever way you choose, you will get a copy. And so these following are 20 of my most popular titles. And these are the books that people have reviewed, they've shown interest in. There have been blogs written about these books. I've done interviews about a lot of these books. And so that's what made them most popular. And just in terms of public interest, because I don't only write about the Illuminati. I write about a lot of other things, and I don't only write about entertainment. So as you will see in the coming previews, I have lots to say. A lot of you say I talk too much. Well, I probably write too much too. Now, one of my most popular books is The Hip Hop Illuminati, How and Why Illuminati Took Over Hip Hop. And in this book, I explain how the elite, which I refer to as Illuminati because the word Illuminati simply means enlightened ones. So this is how the enlightened ones took ignorant youth from the hood who happened to have a talent and made money off of them, and then were able to use them and pimp them to serve their purpose. And that's what that book is about. Satan's Children, which I also have a very popular YouTube video on, simply goes into detail about the celebrities who sold their souls for fame. So in this book, I name the names of those who sold their soul. I show you how they did it. And I also tell you what it actually is, what it means to sell your soul in order to receive fame and wealth, because it comes hand in hand. Once you get the fame, you get the wealth. It's usually not the other way around. So the next book, many of you may not know about this, but it's called Fake Blood, the true story of how I went undercover in the Bloods gang to find my daughter. My daughter had been a Blood for a number of years, and I hadn't heard from her. And so I infiltrated a couple of trap houses using, by the book, or make a donation and request the book so you can hear how I did this. Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for an older person to get into the gang lifestyle and keep hidden my agenda. But I was able to do it, and I tell you in this book how I did it. Real Hip Hop Gangsters is the story of real hip hop artists who broke the law. And I'm not talking just petty crimes. I'm talking everything from murder to drug dealing to you name it. So there are some actual instances of hip hop artists who were real thugs in real life and not just on record. And so I go into all of their stories that I had at the time of this publication. There's been more since then, but I cover from back from the 80s on up to in that topic. The Price of Fame is simply a book about what has happened in Hollywood to a lot of famous people. And it was the price they paid for their fame. So I give you a lot of behind the scenes stories about people like Marilyn and Elvis and Tupac and a lot of other Hollywood stars who you may not have known what led to their demise, but it was simply their price of fame. And so this is something that I'm sure will intrigue those of you who are celebrity watchers. This book, A Biblical View on Smoking Weed, is simply that. I go into the Bible to find out what God has to say about smoking weed. As a former pothead, and I was one for many, many, many years, and as a matter of fact, I just recently, in recent years, stopped. I wanted to see what God said about it. So this book will give you an idea. And again, you can get it either on Amazon or you can get it through me. And again, the donation is, you can donate as little as $5 and just put your email address and the title of the book that you desire, and I'll make sure you get it. Hip Hop Illuminati Book 2 it deals with how they're using the music genre in the New World Order. So this is present day. It's book 2 of the same thing, how the elite are using present day artists to influence and corrupt the youth in preparation for the New World Order and martial law and all of these things, the stop and frisk and all of these things that you see being utilized are also a part of this agenda. Now, I went a little bit out of my preferred genre, which is the hip hop, because that's where I worked for so many years and that's my field of expertise. And I did research and I covered the Kennedys and what's called the Kennedy curse. So in this book, I talk about all of the brothers and the father, Joe. A lot of people don't know that he was a bootlegger back in the day. And so I just covered the whole family and the different calamities that are connected with these people and the various tragedies and deaths. And also crimes. There were quite a few of them that were criminals. The Manipulation of America is a book that I wrote simply to show people that you can be manipulated if your mind is not tight. If the Bible says be transformed by the renewing of your mind. There are people out there that want to renew your mind for their purpose. So I give you an in-depth look at manipulative psychology and the science behind it, and how they can control your, even how others can control you, not just advertisers, but significant others can manipulate you. Psychological warfare. Now, this brings me to the video I did a few days ago where where I was talking about H&M, and a lot of you said that it was a PSYOP operation, which is psychological warfare that is used in different ways to set the minds of the masses. And so in here, I tell you how it's done, why it's done, and how you can avoid becoming a victim of it. And so I'm sure this will be of interest, especially to those of you who called that out on that video. Violator for Life. It's the unauthorized biography of my friend Chris Lighty. He was the president of the Violator Company, which managed such artists as Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, and they said he committed suicide. I don't agree, and so I wrote a whole book about my thoughts because Chris was on the verge of trying to change the hip-hop the direction of hip hop music, and I believe that had a lot to do with his demise. And so I tell you everything I think in this book, and I highly recommend that you read it. Satan's Emissary is the unauthorized biography of the boxing promoter Don King. And in the preface, I say Mark 8:36, I quote it, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul?" Well, this is the story of such a man. So a lot of you are familiar with Don King's criminal past, and he had a criminal present as well. He got a lot of money out of people that he cheated. And so I go into all of the stories with the different boxers and what happened, what was behind that. Cat Williams, The Road to Hell, is the story of my friend Cat Williams. And it's basically about how they have tried to destroy this man, messing with his kids and his finances. And even he himself he was not only a victim of what was done to him, but things that he even did to himself. So I go into the details and a lot of stuff you guys don't know, whereby he was invited to different events where there was all types of debauchery going on and so forth, and he didn't want to give in to that. Okay, the Thug Bible is my autobiography about my life. And I talk about my criminal past. I talk about my years in hip hop. I talk about the 10 years I spent in prison and what that was all about. And so it's a whole book about my life up to the present. And I named it the Thug Bible because essentially that's what it was. I am a reformed thug, and I thank God for deliverance. And in this book, I keep it 100. I don't hide anything. Okay, The Real Bad Girls Club is a history of women and violent crime. And in this book, I covered most of the women from the 19th century up to the present, and the really violent crimes that, women are not usually associated with violent crime, but there are a lot of women out there who have done and will do violent criminal activity. So in this book, excuse me, I covered the ones who did. Secret Societies of New York is a book where I actually put on blast quite a few secret societies in New York. And although they were secret during my time in the industry, I was privy to attending a lot of these different events at these establishments, and I was offered membership in a lot of things. So I talk about everything here, and some of it's pretty wicked. So be prepared, be ready. And again, you can see this book. It's $20, you might as well say, on Amazon. But again, if you donate to the ministry, I'll send it to you free. The Deprogramming of Black America, which is the focal point of most of my videos. In this book, it tells you what happened, how we got programmed in the first place, and how to deprogram, more importantly. So definitely something that you want to read if you find yourself at your wit's end as to whatever your current predicament might be, or just if you're trying to have a blueprint for your children, how to raise your children so they're not part of this lost generation. End Time Prophecies is just that. It's based on the book of Revelations, in particular Revelation 6, verses 1 through 17, where John appeared before God and he was received by angels, and the angels presented him with the scroll with the 7 seals from the one who was sitting at the right hand of God. And so they began to reveal themselves, and this is my interpretation of those end time prophecies. A to Z Women of the Bible. This is my book about the women in the Bible. There were 189 women who are actually named in the Bible, but there were others who were not named. And in this book, I simply tell the stories of the ones who are named. And I also use illustrations to show what they might have looked based on the tribe they belonged to and the area where the events are taking place and the different nationalities and cultures of the time. So as you can see by the cover, I have them in the different dress that they might have worn. Proverbs for the Foolish is simply that. It's a book of the book of Proverbs, and I break them down. I break down not the whole book of Proverbs, but enough of them that I felt were relevant, not just in my life, and I share personal experiences, how these Proverbs have helped me, especially when I was being foolish, and then I go on to elaborate on other Proverbs, and here you can see there's a review by someone who entitled it Wisdom for the Ages. So I thank her very much for that nice review. And you might want to read it and have your own review. Lastly, I want to remind you that you can go to Amazon, amazon.com/author/Rebecca Scott, one word, and you can see all of my books there. Or you can simply donate to the ministry in any amount of $5 or more, which goes to the poor. It doesn't go to me. I'm not poor. It goes to buying gloves. $5 can get me a set, hat, glove, and scarf. And I want to have hundreds of these sets so I can go out into the streets of New York and give them to the homeless people who are dying on the streets. This cause is very important to me. Why? Because I was once homeless. And so that is my goal in life, is to never forget where I came from. And the best way I can think about doing it is by giving back. So again, $5 or more to the ministry, and I will send you the book of your choice from my catalog. And I have several other books. I just didn't want the video to be 10 hours long. So this is just 20 of them. Okay, I'm going to end in prayer like I always do. Lord, thank you for the subscribers. Thank you for those who just pass by the channel and maybe gain something out of it. Lord, thank you for my ability to write and the prolific gift that you gave me to be able to just churn out topics that people are curious about and they want to learn about. And so I thank you for this gift, Lord. I thank you for everything that you have done in my life, the magnificence that you have done in my life. I thank you for every morsel that I eat. I thank you for every day that I wake and for who I am. And thank God I know whose I am, and I am your humble servant. In the mighty name of Yeshua. Amen.